Yes, we assessed it and we realized it's 95.
And who are you?
I'm head of works.
Head of works?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the percentage of completion? 90?
90%, yes.
Okay. This project started in 2016, and you said it's been worked on 90%. Head of works, did you do any assessment to test the structural integrity before you continued? Before the project was continued, before you started, before you restarted it?
Yes. Hello? Yeah, Mr. Chairman, yes, the proper structural integrity analysis was done on it before it was re-awarded.
So auditors, we will come to you, but let's finish the remaining two. Another one, 12-seater toilet at Abumayao. Percentage of completion at the time of the audit was 20%. What's the status now?
Yes, Honorable Chair, that project is still at that stage because it was not part of the abandoned project that were captured as part of legacy.
Why was that one left out?
Because of inadequacy of funds, and there are a number of abandoned projects, and we could.
So, what procedure did you use in selecting the ones you wanted to select?
Yes, so we were looking at the one you mentioned, I think 10% or 20%. The Mama Kofa were around 35%, so we thought it wise to quickly look at it. But there were a number of other abandoned projects.
Okay, that's fine. So use the one that was nearing completion.
Exactly.
So you should have said that. The last one, 3-unit classroom, a classroom block at Totibu, and at the time of the audit, percentage of completion was 10%. So obviously it won't be included.
Yes, Honorable Chair, that project was also included.
Was included?
Yes, yes.
So why do you include the 10% completion and left the 20%?
Yes, because that school, Totibo, they do not have a GHS block, but then they produce one of the best BEC results in the district. So we decided to prioritize the.
So it means that you use other methods, not only the percentage of completion.
Exactly, Honorable Chair, and particularly so when that project was started by my MP at the time he was DC, and it was abandoned.
So is it the case that you come from Totibu?
Totibo.
Is it the case that that's where you come from?
No, what I mean is that my MP, Honorable Thomas Ampimnyako, he initiated our project at the time he was the DC.
So you prioritize that because
most
that is where the MP is coming from.
Most definitely. No, he's not from there, but he initiated our project.
Okay, that's fine. So auditors, can you confirm the 90% completion of the first one, construction of 16-seater toilet at Mamakope?
Honorable Chair, we've been updated, but we would have to follow up to do an inspection to confirm the 95% completion.
Mr. Chairman, I'm done, but before I finish, so you are saying that the toilet at Mamakope has 90% completion now,
Yes.
and the 3-unit classroom block at Totibu that started by the then DC, who is now the MP, is now at what percentage?
That should also be around that figure, 90% or not, or more.
So you say you've been there with your technical person. So why are you not being specific? What's the percentage of completion?
Mr. Chairman, it's also 90%.
They are all 90%.
Yes.
Okay. Last one, Mr. Chair. So what plans do you have for the 12-seater chamber at Abumayao?
Yes, Honorable Chair, it will be captured this year as part of the legacy project.
For next year? For next year?
No, for this year, for 2026. We'll be doing the mid-year review.
Okay, that's fine. Right, Mr. Chair, I'm done. Okay, bye.
Is it, what assembly is this?
Asuogyaman.
Asuogyaman, Okay, so Asuogyaman, all right. Is that all that we need to ask you?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay, you are discharged.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Now let's call Fanteakwa North.
My neighbors. I know this is Bebro. Frank, why are you? Bye.
Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Please, my name is Osmanu Abubakar, DC Fanteakwa North.
I'm Edutechi Boatin, Head of Works.
Please, I'm Daniel Tete, District Coordinating Director.
I'm Sam Jacob, this is Internal Auditor.
All right, Honorable Kinney will have Fanteakwa North. Paragraph 291.
Thank you, Chair. Fanteakwa North. Your infraction has to do with abandoned projects. You expended a total amount of 702,407.82 Ghana cedis on 9 projects you co-funded with SIF. Fortunately, these projects were at various stages of completion, but were abandoned. You attributed the anomaly to a lack of funding and that you were not aware of disbursement made by SIF. You were recommended to liaise with them and to complete the said projects. What is your status on these projects?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We are excited to state that we have used the 20% allocation from the 2025 DACF guidelines to complete all such projects. Thank you.
Have they been commissioned?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. 2 of them have been commissioned. That is the completion of 1 number cassava processing factory at Intersud number 1, and then 1 number maternity home at Ahomahumasu. They have been commissioned. The rest plans are far afoot in commissioning them to put them to good use. Thank you.
So how long do you think will take you to have some of them that are almost at 95% completion? How long do you think you can have them commissioned for use?
Thank you. All of them are fully completed. They are fully completed. So we are yet to commission them and then put them to good use. So that one will be done soonest.
So when exactly? Can you give us any time frame? Can you promise this?
Thank you. Just this week, in fact, Monday, I discussed this with the coordinating director to have a management meeting in having a date for that. Unfortunately, this week is packed, which this engagement is part of it. And so we are looking at next week, meeting as management, and then have a date to have the rest of the projects commissioned. Thank you.
So are you telling this house that next year by this time you will not be brought back here for being cited for any of these infractions again?
Thank you. On behalf of the Assembly, yes, I promise. Thank you.
Auditors, can you confirm the first 2 and to take note of the promise given to us that next year they will not appear here again?
Honorable Chair, we can confirm that with regards to the cassava process factory, that has been completed. And then the last one that has to do with the installation of equipment, that one also has been completed. The last update we had from them at the time of gathering our status was that they had initiated some procurement processes to complete all the others. But as to whether they have all been completed, now we are now hearing them. So we would have to do a follow-up and then confirm the completion of the other 7 projects. Thank you.
Okay, Chair. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Now they have been completed. I hope you don't come here next year with the infraction that they are completed but not in use.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
All right.
Chairman, with respect, if I may ask, is that they are completed? I'm of interest in just about 2 of them. You have one which is a 6-unit classroom block, and you have a kindergarten completed. Are kids in the school?
Yes, please, Honorable Chair.
Okay, but you are waiting to commission it.
Yes, please.
I mean, once it's in use, it's good. You just go and pass by with your brass band, and you are good to go. I mean,
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
All right, you are discharged.
Most grateful, Honorable Chair.
Let's call Yilo Krobo. Yes. And Ayensuano. Please introduce yourself to the community, committee, please.
Yeah. Humbly, Honorable Chair, I'm Francis Akumate Ado, MC for Yilo Krobo. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, respectfully, I'm Abdul Hussein A. Rashid, Municipal Coordinator Director, Yilo Krobo Municipal Assemblies.
I'm Bernard Benson-Opon, Head of Works.
Honorable Chair, I'm Albert Fifi Amache, Head of Finance.
Your infraction is in paragraph 279. Honorable Akwesi Kwenedo will handle that.
Chairman, thank you. Yilo Krobo, you paid your revenue collectors, 4 of them. They collected 12,000 Ghana cedis, but you paid them 173,000. Are they also mechanized revenue collectors?
Honorable Chair, respectfully, they're all mechanized staff of the Assembly, mechanized staff.
Are they still with the Assembly?
As I speak, 2 of them are on retirement. The 3rd one cited in the auditor's report has just put in a request to go on voluntary retirement because of challenges associated with his health.
So how are you managing with the revenue collection now, once all of them are gone? Even when they are there, they could not collect. And once they are also gone, it means that even the 12,000, you aren't going to be able to collect. So how are you managing with revenue collection now?
Honorable Chair, what we have decided to do as an assembly is that we have decided to expand and periodically review the work of the revenue collectors currently in the field. We meet quarterly, and then based on the target that we have set with them to find out how they are performing. So their performance is being properly scrutinized, and they know we are interested in what they do. So it's like periodically, every quarter we meet with them and we begin to look at where we need to improve. So this is what we've been doing with them. And a few of, oftentimes too, we have also decided as management, just like the earlier one stated, to also support the process, because management, we run on revenue, is the lifeblood of the assembly. So we intermittently support with revenue collection. So we're able to plug the loopholes, and things are better now.
So do you intend adding more revenue collectors? Or you use your support for those that are already there to be able to make up the shortfalls?
One of the options that we have decided to use legal speaking is, we are looking at the hard to collect revenue items. Some of them are very difficult to, if you know the terrain of Yilo Krobo municipality. We have sought permission from the assembly to the FNA, went through the process, and we have, through the entity committee, we requested for quotations for interested consultants, and they have indeed bid for those consultancy services. So we evaluated their bids, and we have started to pick on mobile solutions. Specifically, they are to do property rates. And this is the revenue item that we think is difficult for us to collect, looking at the records. I've been in the saddle for about almost 7-8 months now. So that's what we're doing. We're hoping that with the experience and pedigree that they have, if you look at the records that Mobile Solutions has, I'm sure the financial fortunes of the assembly would witness a quantum leap. It will improve greatly.
My last question, to justify the measures you put in, what was the target for Q4 of 2025?
Respectfully, Honorable Chair, I would wish to seek permission of this House to let my finance officer help me with the figures, if indeed that's permissible by this August committee.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, if it's permissible, I can give you the total revenue budgeted for 2025 and what was collected. We budgeted for 1.9 million and we collected 1.7 million, which was a 90.8% collection rate. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Therefore, the explanation from coordinating director cannot be valid. If you budgeted for 1.9 and you are able to do 1.7, and property rate is a component that is hard to collect, we are looking at 200,000. Are we to say that the 200,000 would relate to property rate?
So, Honorable Chair, if you look at our financials, for about 4 years, we've been having problems with property rate collection. So the budget section actually mitigates the setting of the target. So last year, 2025 was the highest ever we collected in property rate, which was over 200,000, which hadn't happened before. So we have the potential. We know the property rate that we can collect in the municipality is in the millions. But like we said, our permanent revenue collectors are currently about 4. We have 12 commission collectors. So when mobile solutions come in, we believe that they can deploy more people in helping collect the uncollectible property rates that we have in our municipality. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Let me ask, was the property rate a component of the 1.9 million target?
Honorable Chair, yes, please.
And you collected 1.7 million of that. That is why I'm saying that cannot be the point. If therefore you've been able to do that by the measures you put in last year, why don't you continue with the measures but you want to go for a third party?
Honorable Chair, and we have reviewed the data, and the data tells us that there's a lot more of the revenue items that we didn't cover. So periodically, every quarter, we review the data that we have. So considering the data that we currently have, it makes it imperative for us to look for additional hands. And then in assessing the performance of each of the revenue items, we realize that despite the percentage that we chalked, the property rate is still problematic. So that's why we think that mobile solutions with their pedigree in regulation would help us do that. We want to, yes, that's what we intend doing.
What is the target for this year?
Honorable Chair, respectfully, it is 2.5 million Ghana cedis.
2.5 million
Ghana cedis, yeah.
So from 1.9, we are moving to 2.5, and you still want a third party. So if the third party comes in, are you going to use the same estimates that you've made, or the targets that you've made, or you are going to increase the targets that you've made for this year?
Honorable Chair, respectfully, looking at their experience, I think we're going to increase the target for them. And the target with Yilo
There is a specific. Are you going to maintain that, or you are going to increase it? And if you would increase it, upon what basis and what figures approximately are you going to do that with?
Respectfully, I want my finance officer just come and also support me.
So, Honorable Chair, if we are doing our budget review in June, we'll look at the performance of our collection, then based on it, we will be informed as to how to project our revenue, Honorable Chair. Thank you.
I wish to end here, but you see, it's very interesting. The reason why I'm going this way is because you are bringing in a third party. And there is one line item that you so claim you cannot. So in terms of percentage, my last question, in the 2.5, what is the quantum of the property rate in it?
I cannot speak to the percentage, but I know that this year the budgeted amount was in the 400,000 for property rates.
For property rate. So what is the maximum potential that you think you can do for property rate?
Yilo Krobo has data on properties, and per our estimation with the data that we have, like I said earlier, it can be in the millions if proper measures are put down and we have enough hands. So we are hoping that with the outsourcing, we'll be able to break the genes of our inability to be collecting the property rates. Mr. Chair, you need a lot of hands when it comes to property rate collections. That's why I was bringing in the fact that we don't have much numbers. And sometimes to marshal resources to get people out there to do the collection with the assembly, with the challenges with our resources, it becomes difficult. So when a third party comes in with its expertise and resources, we believe that we can attain a target. And I know that we've put in a clause, a performance clause for the MOBI solutions. If they are not able to meet our expectations, I believe management and the General Assembly will then make a decision. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome, but you must be definite with your numbers. Once you are bringing a third party, it cannot be the same valuation for yourself, for that person. So it should not be can. There should be certainty as to the numbers and what your projections would be, and they must be realistic. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Well noted, Honorable Chair.
That third party that you are bringing in, how much is that going to cost you?
Honorable Chair, luckily we already have a data that GIZ helped us gather data that we have. So the cost of data is out. We already have the data, so they are going to work with our data. So you look at the agreement that we have with them, the cost of data, if they are going to do the data gathering, it goes with a huge cost. But in our case, the issue of data gathering is out, and it makes it a bit friendly. So that's, yeah.
Now, the third party that is coming in is going around to collect the money for you, not so?
Yeah.
Are they going to collect it for free, or it will be at a cost?
Respectfully, initially we're looking at 30% collection. They have to bear the cost of paying.
Now you are talking.
Honorable Chair, the standard figure, most documents or most agreements normally use is 30%. But in our case, we negotiated with them and we said, despite the fact that I don't have to bear the costs of paying those revenue collectors in default, we would. So we finally arrived at 28%. That's what we have agreed with them. 28% of all money is collected, Honorable Chair.
50.
28%.
28%, Honorable Chair.
28%.
28%
as commission.
And they will go ahead and pay the collectors.
Yes, they bear the cost of the commission collectors.
And they are not going to bear the cost of collecting the data, so that's what should compensate them adequately.
Yes.
Wow. So budgeting 1.5 and collecting 1 point this, you are paying 30% to a third party. Auditors, you may want to look into that and advise. Hey, Yilo Krobo. Okay, you have another infraction in DACF, paragraph 309, and Honorable Frankie Abua will handle that one.
Thank you, Chair. Yilo Krobo, Municipal. MC, I can see that you have a very good you have very good staff members supporting you.
Yes, please.
The finance director is experienced. The coordinating director is very experienced. The good side of it is that you're covered. The bad side is that you have to be careful.
Thank you very much.
Now, let's tackle my questions. I have only two issues. You started the construction of a police post at Klo Agogo. At the time of the audit, percentage of completion was 65. What's the status now?
Humbly, Honorable Chair, that project, we have completed it. The contractor has written to us, and we are in the process of handing over to Ghana Police. Thank you very much.
So how long was the project handed over to you?
Respectful Honorable Chair, it was on 21st of April of this month that we did the final inspection and then handover. And we are just in the process of handing over to the Ghana Police Command. They were there for us for the conduct of the final inspection of the project and the handover of the same day. The Police Command, as the beneficiary department, was with us. So we are in the process of handing over to the Ghana Police Command.
Are you aware that the contractors, before handing over the project to you, would have invoked the deferred liability clause, which is 6 months, that you're supposed to use the property to know whether there are defects or not? Are you aware of that?
Honorable Chair, respectfully, we are.
And for a month now, if the project, you've gotten the project, you haven't started using it, so 1 month is gone already. Leaving 5 months. So how sure are you that you're going to use the property before the 6 months for you to know if there are defects?
Respectfully, Honorable Chair, when we did the final inspection with the Police Command, the engineer as the technical officer, I know this is a local project, the Waste Department, they are the project managers. And based on the quality of work done on the building, we have the assurance.
No, practically what you're saying doesn't hold. You need to use the property, the facility, before you can detect some defects. You can't just, that is why in the contract, we put in that the 6 month deferred liability period. So you must use it within the 6 months to be able to detect if there are any defects. Otherwise, the cost will be borne by, maybe my chairman will come in, but let me go to the next one. My advice is that just use it as soon as possible so that if there are any defects, you'll be able to detect it for the contractor to come back and fix it for you. The second one is construction of footbridge at Agavenya Somenya. At the time of this audit, percentage of completion was 95%. What's the status now?
Humbly, Honorable Chair, that one too, we have completed it. It's in use. Thank you very much.
It's in use. Auditors, can you confirm, please?
Yes, Honorable Chair, we can confirm that the footbridge has been completed and it's in use. Per our last status regarding the police post, it had not been completed at the time we did the inspection. I don't know, like he is saying now that they have completed it, we would have to do a follow-up to inspect that. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, we have photographs of the completed building if we can make it available to this August committee. We have.
Now you can deal with the auditors later on, but my challenge or my issue is that you have to start using the facility to be able to detect any defect within the 6 month period. Thank you.
Well noted.
I'm done. Thank you.
All right, Yilo Krobo, you are discharged.
We must pray for Honorable Chair.
Now let's call Ayensuano. Introduce yourself to the committee.
Honorable Chair, my name is Joshua Frederick Latte, DC for Ayensuano.
I'm Yvonne Nabu, Coordinating Director.
I'm Lord Persitin Crane, Finance Officer.
Honorable Chair, I'm Eric Amankwa, Head of Admin.
To start off with, your infraction is on paragraph 279, and Honorable Akwesi Kunedu will handle that one.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, your infraction also has to do with insufficient revenue collection and overpayment to your revenue collectors in terms of how much they collect in revenue. You paid in excess of about 81,125 to 4 revenue collectors. Are they also mechanized revenue collectors?
Yes, Honorable Chair. These are all mechanized revenue collectors.
And are they all still at post?
Yes, currently we have 3 at post. 1 is due for pension as we speak. So there are 3 who are still at post.
So now what is their collection rate like? Because if they are collecting less than what they generate, it means we are finding in excess some amount of money to be able to pay them. So what is their current collection rate?
Yeah, Honorable Chair, analyzing the situation, we realized that these are people who are a bit towards the pension age, and looking at their energy levels and health-wise, as we speak, we have 2 who are in the hospital as a result of certain underlying conditions they have. So what we've done is to bring them to the back office. At least they can do clerical, secretarial duties in terms of accounting, recording pay-in slips, making sure bank pay-in slips which are brought in are duly handled, compiled, and handed over to the accountant, also writing out bills and other receipts. So they are now in the back office where we think the movement is less for them, so they are more efficient and effective there than in the field. So to beef up the collection in the field, we've engaged commissioned collectors who are currently on the field, who are younger and more energetic. So they have taken over the field work so that at least the assembly doesn't lose its revenue.
So what is the current collection rate in terms of your targets?
Honorable Chair, with your permission, I'll let the finance officer give us the figures.
Honorable Chair, thank you very much. I think revenue collection has improved since we engaged the commission collectors. That of 2024 revenue target and actuals, I think we achieved 93.41%. And 2025, we have achieved about 221%. And it's due to their efficient effort in mobilizing revenue.
You've achieved over and above your estimates.
Fantastic.
You are saying fantastic. It's some way, somehow, are those targets realistic, or because you knew that your collection rates were low and that you had staff members who you've moved off from the field collecting, so you set the target so that you can jump over the target?
That's not the case.
Okay, from 2024 to 2025, what was the percentage increase in target that you set for yourself?
I think if your house would give me that time to calculate, about 40% increase.
Okay. No, in real terms, okay, what was the target for 2024?
The target for 2024 was 1,371,780 Ghana cedis. And that of 2025 is 1,702,000 Ghana cedis.
One way or the other, isn't that also portions of increment in terms of fees that you charge?
Most of one of.
So therefore, it is not an actual increase in the target set year on year. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Because once you've increased the fees, for instance, we are charging 50 for, say, a kiosk, and the fee moves to, say, 60, and you are still going to the same place to go. There is a 10% increment on that, but it is not necessarily in terms of the revenue lines and actual mobilization in excess of what you did last year. So the fees increment is helping you, but not your actual work done. That is the point. You understand that?
Yes, please.
So what are you going to do in terms of the real numbers to be able to go upon that, taking out increment in fee charges?
Well, currently, as my coordinating director said, we are still going to engage these commission collectors to be able to do and set more achievable targets for them too.
So why don't you set for those who are in rather than putting on more? Or is it that for those that you have, the target you set for them has reached a saturated point that you need more hands?
That is it, Honorable.
GTV, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana. Up next, Alpha Lotto Draw.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Wednesday evening, it's exactly 5 p.m. and it's time for our Alpha Express draw right here at Asuogyaman Hall. Another evening to make some money. Lovely audience, what are we predicting? 47, 47, 82, 82, 22, 22, 25, 25, 36, 36, and single 9, 9, 80, 80. All right, on this note, we'll go for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.